Hey everyone, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to the Necromantic team unboxing. This is quite entertaining. So before we go any further, just want to say a huge thank you to Entoyment, our friendly local gaming store in Poole, Dorset, UK. Turned great online retailer as well. They help us out by getting us these models so that we can do reviews. So big thank you to them. If you're shopping for Games Workshop or wargaming in general, entoyment.co.uk, supporting them helps support us. So that's fantastic. So we are going to have a look at the miniatures, and we're going to give them a quick build. So let's open the box right now. So this team has got 14 players in. So let's open it up and see what we've got inside. Okay, we've got some miniatures. We've got some more miniatures. We've got a ton of Games Workshop bases. I'm really hoping there's 14 in there. We've got some transfers. So we'll have a look at these first before we start playing around and building. So you've got the positional names there. That's important because the Blood Bowl 2020 box set, the transfers in there didn't actually have the positional names on, just numbers. So it's good that this team has got these, although by looking at the player types, it's probably one of the teams that needs them the least. So you've got the pumpkin face and the bats, and you've got some spider webs. And those spider webs are pretty cool. They look like the old school forest goblin ones, and you've got numbers there as well in black and white. This is actually a really useful transfer set. I think those spider webs and maybe those bats are going to end up on some small scale fantasy models. They make great shield transfers actually. Anyway, that is that for them. So we have got the instructions here. Yes, I know. Use knives carefully. Okay, let's have a look at how many pieces. So, the Wraith doesn't look too bad. We'll give that a build. The Golem, again, doesn't look too bad at all. The Zombie Lineman, not bad. Right, we're looking for travesties, really. Few pieces on that zombie. That one's not too bad. Ooh, the Ghoul Runner, assuming independent legs from the body is always interesting, but it's cool that they've got alternative heads, and the werewolf who also has alternative heads. So alright, this team doesn't look too bad to build. We're looking at this because Blood Bowl is basically a gateway game, halfway between board game and miniature game really. So the easier the miniatures are to paint and build, the quicker that our new players can get into the game. And with Blood Bowl 2020 landing, this is a point at which we want to be supporting new players to the game, because we're about to have a ton. So, my German is fine, but my French not so much. So, let's have a look at the English rules. So, Zombie Linemen, Ghoul Runners, Wraiths, Werewolves, Flesh Golems, 70k, Masters of Undeath, Sylvanian Spotlight. So, actually, these are the rules from the book, which is a really great move here from Games Workshop. You can actually buy this box set and run this team without picking up the book, essentially. You don't have the Masters of Undeath and the Sylvanian Spotlight, but you don't necessarily need the spike to run this team and to know what this team does. So anybody picking up the team brand new is going to know what this does, which is pretty sweet. Anyway, begone instructions. Let's have a look at the toys. So where do we want to start? Let's start here. So we'll get a decent shot. You can see the sculpt. It's Games Workshop, so by now we all know that the quality is going to be good. The detail is going to be very good, and you've got a lot of fun stuff there. So there's two different types of balls. There's a pumpkin ball and a Frankenstein ball. It's like a stitched together thing. They've got cool rules for them in the Spike magazine. We'll cover that in a separate video. But you can see here loads of pieces, but it makes sense because there's 14 players on the pitch. So we've got some tokens as well. Let's look at the tokens. You've got the cool raven on the grave tones, and you've got this pumpkin face marker there with the Blood Bowl logo on the back. That gravestone is really cool and would be pretty useful in most things. So that's the unboxing part. Let's do the build part. Okay, so we've built the miniatures. Now we're going to have a look at some of the size comparisons. Actually, we'll have a look at the miniatures first. We'll start with the werewolf. Okay, the werewolf model went together very easily. It's only 3 pieces, and it's actually formulated really well, so that you can't really put it together wrong. It is lofty, as in it feels very tall. So what have we got over here to compare it to? I think Dark Elf Runner, Dark Elf Blitzer. Dark Elf runner is probably the best way to compare it size-wise, because they've got a very similar similar stature, similar pose really. They're both running and leaping. So if we have a look at actual mass and size, you can see that the werewolf is actually longer and kind of bigger than the Dark Elf Blitzer, which is not massively surprising. That's kind of what it's meant to do. When you got it on the ground, on the pitch, it doesn't feel much bigger, and actually the werewolf is going to be absolutely fine as a strength 3 piece. Let's grab a random ogre. You can see the ogre has still got way more mass on the werewolf than it needs, which is perfect. So that's the werewolf done. Let's have a look at the Wraith. So my advice when building the Wraith is follow the instructions. There's one bit that you have to do first. So it's got tabs where you can put both parts of the washing line into the ground first. Just do it. Do that. Don't glue it, just put them in, because this piece here has to glue to this side and this side. And as you can see, I've not done a very good job there. I'm going to have to take some, probably going to have to take it apart and rebuild it. That's why I'm using, super glue, is because I tend to make mistakes when I'm doing the quick builds on the videos, and then have to go back and just kind of unbuild them and repair them. If you are building these, I would probably recommend polystyrene cement, plastic glue, and follow the instructions. Glue it bit by bit, and you'll be able to have a nice secure fix. However, it's a very cool miniature, and we'll do the Dark Elf Blitzer test again. As you can see, size-wise, very similar. So this is the Blitzer of the Necro team, and size-wise, missing the art. I love this. I love these miniatures. They are very cool. It's a bit of a change team-wise. Now it's got no hands, but size-wise, it pairs up well to the Dark Elf Blitzer and also to the Werewolf. This boy was not difficult to build at all. Went together, absolute piece of cake. And size-wise, it's got more mass than the Dark Elf. You can see that when it's down on the ground. It's just got more mass. It's got about the same amount of height. It's definitely a strength 4 piece. And if you were to compare it to, let's use this ogre and put it here. So we've got this ogre here and this golem. You will know that this guy is strength 4 and this guy is strength 5. When you put it down, it's got plenty of mass. There'll be great strength 4 players. And the Ghoul. So the Ghoul, you've got to build its legs separately, or at least each leg is independent on the body. So definitely something to consider when you're building it. As you probably saw from the quick build, built one leg on, put it in the base, put the other foot in the base, and then shuffled it along, and then glued this second leg so that it's actually static and actually stands together. It's a bit squiffy, and it's going to take a bit of work. Interesting design choice. I do prefer the Ghouls from the other team, although this helmeted head, in my opinion, is better than the pumpkin one, but the pumpkin one has got a fantastic style. I'm going to go with 2 Ghouls with helmets, but probably one of every other type of head out there. So now we've looked at these positionals. Sorry, the Ghoul is appropriately size 3. It pairs up nicely with the Dark Elf Blitzer. It's where you want to be. So now we've built the miniatures, we can just talk about whether they are any good. Now, for me, the superstars are the golems, and they are a chunky strength 4 thing. I've had a crazy idea while building them. The Black Orc team has got up to 6 strength 4 players. 6 of these golems with some undead halflings as your bits. There's your Black Orc team using these undead miniatures. A complete waste of money, but it would look really, really cool. Anyway, the team looks wonderful. The miniatures are really well designed. Tricky to put together, but such style and just really, really, really good finish. I cannot recommend this team enough, and the fact you get 14 in the box means that you are covered all the positionals. When you're building the team, you might need a few more zombies, but it depends. In fact, if you want to look at starting rosters for League, then I will put a link in now, and you can click it and follow, and you'll see Necromantic starting rosters for League at 1 million. There's quite a few to choose from. Love the team, absolutely recommended. Nothing else to say. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll be back soon with some more Blood Bowl content.